So I listened to what he said, you know, less emotion. Okay.
Be creepy, motherfucker.
Yeah, be creepy. Creep in the corner. Done. I'll do that. But again, I love all films. It's not just horror films. I love all kind of films, and I didn't draw from anyone in particular. I drew from Ryan's writing, and I know Ryan's writing comes from hundreds of millions of horror films. So I drew from that. Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question for Ryan. After he explained that you're an expert on film, how hard is it to be original when you're writing a script after all the movies you watched and being an effective one before? Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. But honestly, I don't think everything's already been done before, but everybody always says that there are no new ideas, everything is taken from something else. I think the worst thing any artist can do is try to compare themselves to something that's already been done and try to well, they did this, so I gotta try to do that. It's kind of like you almost have to wipe your mind blank and just you just stare at a blank canvas, slit your wrist open and bleed all over it, and that's your art right there. Because if you try to think about, oh, well, in Texas Chainsaw Massacre they did this, or in Poltergeist it was that, it starts to take away from the true story and the true art of what you're trying to do. For me, whenever I'm writing, I never watch any movies, and an example is with Sick, the zombie film I just did. I stayed away from all zombie films. Walking Dead Season 2 just came out, and everybody on set was always talking about what was going on with that, and I was just staying as far away from it as possible because it would. I didn't want to learn from it. I didn't want to take from it, and so it's the whole idea that when creating art myself, I try not to do anything like that. I don't try to watch any movies. I mainly listen to music, and I always have music influence every single thing that I do when I'm creating art. So it's I prefer to not try to see, oh, did I copy this or did I stylize that? It's just, this is a Ryan M. Andrews film. It's how it is, and I don't think about any other movie.
Does any of that music make it into the actual film or scene?
No, usually it's with Black Eve. Well, yeah, the opening music, the opening credits, the end credits were done by a friend of mine, Rick Jacket, who's one of the guitar players for Finger 11. Called him up, and he was talking, one night we were drinking, he was talking about wanting to, put some music into a film. The other guitarist just scored a movie, and so I was like, oh, Rick, dude, I got a movie going on right now, so I want you to lay something down. Dude, kind of like a Dexter-ish kind of style, because he wanted to hear a comparison to something. But for me, when I'm ever writing anything, or whenever I'm on set directing, I wipe my mind clean of any horror film. If anybody needs a reference, I'll give them a reference. But for me, myself, for my art, it's I gotta try to ignore all that. With Black Eve, I mainly listen to 3 bands, all with the same singer: Murder Dolls, Wednesday 13, and Frankenstein Drag Queens from Planet 13. And it's fun party music. It's all about horror, and that was just the fun style I wanted to go with for Black Eve specifically. So if anything, my art is more influenced by music than by anything that's already been done in the past.
Well said.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Probably have time for one more question. All right. You guys just want to. Oh, okay.
How did you do the stabbing in the mouth? Do the back of
The stabbing in the
that was a friend of mine who had worked on my first feature, Stephen Dolly. He did the visual effects for that one. He came out that day, and it was I think probably about 6 or 7 hours just to do those few seconds. He did a mold of the handle of the sledgehammer, and then for the actual stabbing part, we had a mannequin's head with a wig on it, and basically we just had a toilet paper tube going through the head, so it was perfect size for the actual sledgehammer handle. And we had a couple tubes going up. One was filled with fake blood, the other was filled with banana Banana makes good brains on film, so basically it would be like Neil would stab through and Steve would be off to the side pumping the blood in the banana through it so it would spit out the back of the wig, and the wig covered up the hole in the head. And I think the first day, because we had it sitting on a C-stand for the scene, a stand that we put lights on.
Yeah.
Well, not exactly like that, but basically it was the first time we did it. The stand almost went flying because Neil like shoved so much force behind it. So we had to clean it up, set it up again, and then I ended up like hiding underneath the stand, holding it in place. Steve pumped the blood. Neil stabbed it through. I had like blood pouring down on me. I actually every day on that set I did not leave until I had blood all over me. And that's how we did a 3-second shot in 6 hours.
Of course, we should talk about the short film that we premiered tonight too.
Yes.
Yes. Do you want to talk a little bit about that for a second? Yeah.
So with Devil Walks Among You, Morgan Muscat, who came out and worked on Black Eve, who's also a producer, he was talking to me one day, and I had this short script, and he was kind of like, "Yeah, well, let's do something." And I've been working for months and months in post with Chris Cole on this movie, and it's kind of like, yeah, I want to get back on set. I want to have some fun, but I don't want to do, another kind of like video nasty style film. I want to do something a little more kind of like a little more psychological, a little sexier, that type of thing. And so I took the script, and again, since I said all my influences come from music, The Devil Walks Among You, my son absolutely loves music, and at the time he was listening religiously, like at least 6 times a day, to a song called Day of the Dead by a singer, Captain Clegg and the Night Creatures. For horror movie fans here, they'll know Captain Clegg. He was the band, the fictional band in Rob Zombie's Halloween Part 2. And basically I saw him live. He opened for Rob Zombie tour, and so I picked up his album, and my son fell in love with this song. And it was just this spoken word piece. This mariachi music was playing, and he was talking, telling the story. My son listened to it all the time, so I ended up hearing it all the time, and I just got the idea of, let's get this woman sitting on top of a piano, a smoky bar, and let's have her tell this story. And so that's kind of where The Devil Walks Among You came from, and so we got Fraser Brown to shoot it, and got connected to him through my friend Warren Shinoda, and who unfortunately can't be here tonight, but he sends his love to everybody who is here. He's out in LA shooting a music video right now. But anyway, so we shot this short film in 2 days. I don't think we actually edited it until we finished Black Eve, because I was kind of like, okay, I want to get this done, but let's get this other film done. And so while in post on The Devil Walks Among You, I just got the idea that this would actually make a kind of like a Tales from the Crypt style TV show. Like we have Sandra Costa playing this host, and each week she tells this story of, of some kind of like mad macabre story. And so, that's how things started developing while in post-production on it. And as soon as we wrapped on Black Eve, we jumped back on board onto Devil Walks Among You, got that cut, and so now that both of those films are done, I'm really excited for this year, 2012, because it's like, got those 2 films done, I've got this new film in post, get these films out to festivals, and just keep doing them, and that's kind of like the big thing for me right now. I don't know if you want to bring Sandra.
Yeah, I just want to give props to when we get them, Sandra and
if Robert Norman is still here.
Yeah, Robert.